welcome back to my channel. My name is Alec Reed. This is my channel, I Like Reads, and today we're reading I Still Think You're Beautiful. Today we're reading chapter 37. Also, I wanted to ask a question to you guys. I don't like the idea of someone having to pay for my content. It just makes me really uncomfortable, just because I feel like everyone should be able to see my content, hear my content. But at the same time, I do need to purchase a wheelchair, and I do need new equipment for this channel. So I need to find a way to find funds for that. So I was wondering if you guys wanted to or would be willing to do donations. So I would just put either a PayPal, Cash App. I know that some people who do podcasts and stuff do Ko-fi. I'm not sure how you say it, but I could try that. I've never used it before, so I'm a little iffy about that, just because I'm not very good with tech stuff. I could also do just a GoFundMe in general. I don't know if I already said that, but anyway, like, subscribe, comment down below, answers to my question, or saying hello, telling me if you like this type of content, recommendations, that type of thing. But anyway, let's jump right into the video. Chapter 37. Harry. My head was struck with a bolt of pain as I began to regain consciousness. This is really starting to get on my nerves. Couldn't I just have a break for once in my life? Can't everything just have a happy ending, like all was well or something? I groaned. I was laid on my side upon an uncomfortable surface, probably the ground. My back hurt and stuck to my t-shirt. The blood soaked onto it. Wherever I was, it stank of rotten food and waste. I was gagging as the scent hit the back of my throat each time I took a breath in. I tried to cough the stench away, and I was hit with a tsunami of vertigo. My ears began to ring. I threw up a little, too. I managed to roll onto my back, which I immediately regretted. It burned with an unimaginable pain. I dug my nails into the palms of my hands to make it bearable. I will not scream. I will not cry. It will only give him the satisfaction. It is a him. Could it be her? I didn't see their face, but I'm pretty sure it was a man. They had the dark mark. And not to be sexist, but apart from Bellatrix and Draco's mom, most of the Death Eaters were guys. My eyelids felt heavy and drowsy as I parted them slightly. The room was pitch black. I couldn't see a thing. I unclenched my fists and touched the dusty ground. It was cemented but muddy. It was like a basement floor. I just don't want to get in trouble. This is Harry Potter. I don't want anything leading back to me. Do you understand? A young girl spoke, her voice demanding yet cautious. She spoke with an air of authority, a bit like Draco, probably a Slytherin thing. Of course I understand. Don't you think this is dangerous for me too? I'm trying to finish what the Dark Lord started. I'm not doing this for you, as much as you will get out of this. It isn't about you. The second voice was harsh and gravelly, a man's voice. I recognized it as Zelani's. I know that. Don't you dare suggest I don't. Uncle. Zelani has a niece? I want him dead as much as you. I just want to be cautious, you know? The terms of the arrangement. If I go to Azkaban, then it will be called off. And I really don't want to go to Azkaban either. She was raising her voice now. It had been an annoying, whiny squeal to it. I heard her stomp her way obnoxiously, determined to have the last word. Selene sighed and muttered, "Children," before entering the room where I was barely conscious. "Wake up, Potter." I felt a foot smash its way into my ribs. The crunch of my bones echoed the room as I whimpered at the sound. I clenched my fist against, my nails burrowing into my palm, distracting me from the red-hot agony in my lower stomach. My scar began to burn just like before, as it did my back. How is this possible? Voldemort's dead. I killed him. I opened my eyes again. The room still spun a bit. A small bluish light stood next to me, his wand. I followed his arm to his face, which contained an evil, insane smirk. If I had the strength, I could have punched him right in his jaw, but I didn't, so I just laid there, helpless, unable to move, even breathe, sent pain through me, spikes of torment through me. You have no idea how long I've waited for this day. He spat at me. Merlin, this guy was as bad as Voldemort. Recollecting a monologue before actually trying to kill me. I don't actually care, I croaked. Just get over it. My voice grew stronger. Oh, how I wish I could see the look of Malfoy's face when he finds out. His mouth was still frozen in a crazed smile. His son in love with Harry Potter. How precious. Not convenient with their pure-blood status, of course. Nobody to breed an heir. But if I kill you, Draco can marry a perfectly normal girl, produce an heir, and I can avenge the Dark Lord at the same time. As the Muggle saying goes, kill two birds with one stone. He cackled to himself. There's just one flaw in your plan. Not to be self-obsessed or anything, but I am Harry Potter. Literally everyone will be looking for me, especially Draco. My strength had returned. The pain was easing away. That's why we've hidden where Draco wouldn't think to look. And where am I exactly? Malfoy Manor, of course. Don't you recognize their useful cellar? Narcissa wasn't as compelling, though. I leaned on my arm, trying to sit up. What have you done to her? I asked, raising my voice. Oh, she's perfectly fine. She just got hit. A bit. Like an owl that can't do its job properly. She's been put out of the way. No need to bother you with the details. Now, you've been asleep for hours, and I wanted to kill you whilst you were awake, and I've been waiting so patiently, so if you could please not move, that would be brilliant. He raised his wand. I stared him in the eye, not really wanting to be the last I see, but I wasn't scared. I've done this before. His mouth opened as there was a shout from upstairs, and then a thumping noise. We both looked up. He then looked back at me as I struggled to say, I told you so. He swore under his breath and headed upstairs, locking the door behind him. I didn't hear anything for a while, until Zeleny came back down, silent as ever, and grabbed me by the back of my jumper. There was no point in wrestling. He had dragged me up the familiar steps into the open room. I grit my teeth and shut my eyes as my broken ribs grinded together. When I opened them, all I saw was him. Draco fucking Malfoy. He had his wand pointed at green grass. Behind him stood Ron, Blaise, and Neville. I let out a sigh of relief as I looked him in the eyes. I love you, I mouthed. He smiled and nodded. 38. Draco. Hey guys, I shouted as I ran out of the forest. "What is it, Malfoy?" Weasley asked me. "Harry's wand. If you were right about Delaney, that means he's defenseless, and even more danger than we thought." I put his wand in my pocket and walked with the two boys back to Hogwarts to inform McGonagall. "What do you mean he's missing?" Our headmistress's voice bounced off the walls of the office. All three of us looked sheepishly at our feet. I knew we should have told her sooner. "Only for 2 hours." Blaise shrugged. I just rolled my eyes. "Mr. Zabini, I personally informed the 8th year of Potter's case there is a Death Eater after him, and all three of you forgot to mention that he hasn't been seen for 2 hours?" "Oh, and I think he's drunk," Blaise muttered. Ron shot him a look as I placed my face in my hands over an overly dramatic sigh, hoping Blaise would get the message to shut up. "And he's intoxicated. I'll inform the Ministry, see if they have any leads on Delaney. All three of you get back to the common room and stay there until I say otherwise." She nodded sharply, and we all shuffled out of her office. As soon as we got through the portrait, we were ambushed by everyone in there, with questions and tears, and it was all a bit much for me. It made it seem too real. "He's fine. He's Harry. He'll always be fine." I spotted Greengrass heading towards me. Merlin knows how she got into the common room, but she did, and I did not feel like talking to her right now. But I put on a fake smile anyway. "Hey, Drake." I grimaced at the name. "It's Draco." But she ignored me. "I won't be seeing you for a few days. I have to go home. It's my uncle. He's sick. I'm leaving in 10 minutes. Her face was monotone and sounded rehearsed, but I brushed it off. Why would I care about her uncle? "Okay, bye. I'll see you when you get back." She kissed me. It was just a peck, but it still made me feel physically sick. "Bye." And then she skipped out of the common room, leaving me in a peaceful silence. "Malfoy," Weasley called out. I shot my head up. "Yes?" "We're going to find Harry. We, meaning me, Neville, and Blaise. You in?" I nodded eagerly. "Good, okay. I just owled my dad and the Ministry, and he said he'd ask around about what they have on Delaney. I should get a reply really soon. Ministry owls are wicked fast." We all muttered in agreement. "Ron, I want to help." Hermione came up behind him. "No, Hermione. If Harry's far away, like out of Hogwarts far away, we're gonna have to fly there, with brooms. Blaise has been training Neville and says he's pretty good, but you've only been on a broom once? I don't want to sound harsh, but if Harry's badly hurt, we can't afford more casualties." Ron replied. Hermione said something under her breath, but nodded meekly. At that moment, a light brown-tanned owl flew through the window, landing gracefully on one of the crimson sofas, dropping a parcel on the footrest. "Ah, here we go." He grabbed the parcel and took it to one of the elongated tables and unwrapped the parcel, which contained a map of the England and a letter. "Here's all the information I could borrow, not steal, regarding this Death Eater. Knowing them with my work for the Order, they would have wanted somewhere with a prison or basement of some sort to keep Harry in. The Aurors said they're doing all they can do to find him. McGonagall's word travels fast. Don't tell her, and don't tell your mother I gave you this, and don't do anything stupid." The letter read itself out. Ron rolled the map out. A few locations were circled in red ink. Some notes were written next to them. "That's my dad's handwriting," Ron said. I noticed my mansion was circled and tried not to get offended. Hey, Greengrass's house is circled, Ron told us. I peered over the map to read the scratchy writing next to it. Selene is said to have a brother-in-law to a Greengrass, who is close friends with Lucius Malfoy. I guess our families are close, but I don't like them personally, I said, trying to defend myself from the facts. It's okay, Malfoy, we get it, Ron said. Wait, wouldn't that make Selene Greengrass's uncle? I asked, thinking back to our earlier conversation. Yeah, I guess. Why did she mention him? Or was she too busy eating your face? Ron spat. Whoa, easy there, boys. We're trying to find Harry, not start another war, Blaise said. She told me that she was leaving Hogwarts to see her uncle who was sick. I mean, I don't know Greengrass that well, but I don't know if she'd be in the league with a Death Eater to kidnap Harry. Blaise gave me a sassy look. I just rolled my eyes. She said she was leaving in 10 minutes. Then let's go. Let's follow her, Ron said. Fine, it's worth a shot. We rolled up the map and grabbed our wands and cloaks. Ron hugged Hermione goodbye, and Jean and Seamus asked to come too. Harry'll be pissed if any more come. You know his whole hero complex. Just stay here and keep everyone calm, I guess, and make sure McGonagall doesn't find out we've gone. Bring him back here, or Hermione will be mad at me too, Pansy said, punching me in the arm and glaring at Blaise. Neville brought an oversized rucksack with him, and when we asked him about it, he just shrugged. We grabbed the fastest brooms in the broom shed, Ron on Harry's. We sat at the carriage next to the ground and followed it on our brooms to Hogsmeade Station. I saw Greengrass enter the train and pointed it out to the other boys. They all nodded and flew onto the train, leading with a slight thud on the roof. We sat down with our brooms, awaiting the destination that the train would take us to. After a few hours later, the train jerked to a stop, and I woke up, nearly falling off the slide. Blaise laughed. Fuck off, I said as we mounted our brooms and followed the small brown-haired girl out of the train station. We better fly up if we don't want to be seen. Wait, what is it, Malfoy? Ron asked. Blaise had stopped too. We're in Wiltshire. And? What's your point? I live in Wiltshire. That bitch is going to my house. I swear to Merlin, if they lay one hand on my mother. I saw Greengrass approach out of the train station with a hooded figure. I set off into the sky, having never really flown to my house by broom before. I kept getting lost, but always found my way back on course. Even on Harry's firebolt, Ron found it difficult to keep up. My determination was pulsing through me, urging me faster. We landed in the grounds. I opened the gates with ease, a sign that the wards had been broken into. Quickly, I whispered. We slowly opened the looming black doors, and I hoped and prayed that Harry was all right, and that my mother was okay. We heard a click of heels, and I pushed the 3 boys into a corner. The girl turned the corner. Certificus Totalis, Blaise shouted, sending the girl into a body blind jinx. The girl in question was Greengrass. I grabbed her wand from her pocket and pointed my own at her. Renarvate, I said, and she woke up. Fear overcame her face as she saw us with our wands pointed at her. Where is Harry? She stuttered as the door behind her opened. Selene poked his head around the door frame, and his face dropped. Get Harry, or I kill your niece. I stabbed my wand into her neck for emphasis. He disappeared back through the door, returning with Harry. He was Harry. If Harry had been beaten multiple times, if Harry would never be happy again, if Harry didn't hate me. He had his eyes closed. A tear ran down one of them. An unpleasant groan escaped his lips. When he opened them, a green spark was faded, but when he saw me, he smiled. His eyes lit up a little. "I love you," he mouthed, and I smiled, a real smile, and nodded, understanding all was forgiven. Alright, that is the end of today's episode. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and comment down below whether it's answering my questions or whether it is leaving recommendations or saying hello, because I do respond to all of your comments. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night. Goodbye, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody in between, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye, friends.